Hey y'all! Oh my gosh, guess what today is? It is our 1 year anniversary, and I am so excited. God is so good. So I thought I would vlog this blog post essentially of just the things that I have learned in the years since we launched. Man, God has taught me so much. Ooh, hold on, y'all. I'm looking at this and annoying me. Okay, welcome to real life, right? Because I don't care at this point in time. Well, I do because it's still annoying me, but it's okay. God has taught me so much. I just stuff I wasn't even ready for. He came for me. But it's been great. It's been such a great journey. A trying one. Definitely a eye opening. If yeah, about myself, about life, about people. So I just kind of wanted to share some stuff with you guys because I think so many times like people share the success of the things that they're doing, but they don't really share the not so successes or the failures or the lessons that they learned. And so one of the things you guys know about me is I like to be transparent and I want to be transparent with you guys. So I wanted to share in hopes that one, whoever watches this feels encouraged about whatever God is calling them to be, because it may not necessarily be business, but I think just things that I've learned when it comes to what God is purposing you and calling you to do. And then two, you just don't know. This might be something for someone else. Who knows? You might watch it and you find that someone else might need to listen to it. But I just hope that you get something. And my transparency encourages you and it helps you know that you're not alone. And I don't think it'll discourage you. I don't think it will, but it'll definitely give you an inside view of what it means to be a business owner, or what it means to walk in the calling that God has for you. So I'm so excited to share with y'all. I have some funny stories, so this should be fun. Anywho, so one of the first things I learned was when they say do not despise small beginnings, do not despise small beginnings. Because I will never forget, I told my pastor about the Masterspiece. I was like, okay, this is something God has placed in my heart. And I will never forget one of the first things he told me was, do not despise small beginnings. And I was like, yeah, yep. But it's not that I was expecting the Masterspiece to like be this huge thing. I think I just didn't understand or really fully get what small beginnings would look like for me. So small beginnings for me looked like nobody knowing who I am. So as a result, I didn't really have much of a following. I think I had like my family and friends. And I still don't have that many people, but it's still more people that I started with. And God is good. And it's not about the numbers. I always have to remind myself that. Small beginnings is launching a website and having a blog and not that many people read it. Small beginnings is nobody really knowing who you are, so you have no credibility at this point in time. Small beginnings is not having any paying clients and still not having any paying clients, which is totally fine, because I think there was a lot of things I had to flush out of myself and learn about the business, that I think I'd be doing a disservice to clients that I got, because I was still learning. And it's different when people doing stuff pro bono, but when their money's involved, so I just kind of wanted, at first I was like, where are all the paying clients, whoop whoop whoop, all this stuff. And I had to learn, Lynn, work on the foundational stuff, like the things that's going to set the foundation that the Masterspiece can be built on, so that it's not crumbled by any little thing, any little wind, or anything. So that was definitely a lesson I had to learn. I definitely had to learn the meaning of success. So I think in this world, we define success as people, how many people you have following you, and how many people liked your stuff, and how much people know you, and how much money you're making. And listen, first and foremost, it's only been a year, right? So I'm sitting here like, okay, I'm not successful because nobody liked my post or whatever. And God had to really teach me that what he measures as success, no one else measures. That's like his measurement is nothing compared to what the world uses to measure success. He's all about souls. He's all about lives being changed. And I had to be okay with, okay, if someone's life was changed because of this, whether I see the fruit of this or not, I have to trust that if you're leading me to do this, then it's going to be successful. So that was definitely a hard pill for me to swallow. And I think about, even like in thinking about success, like your motives are exposed, right? So I remember I made a video and I was like, okay, I don't know what's next for the Masterspiece, but it's all God's, for him to do what he wants. And then he'll be like, okay, it's all mine to do what I want. We'll see. And then you sit there and you start to realize, like, things will happen, and you'll realize how much your own motives and your own fleshly desires can creep in. And so if you're not checking yourself, you can slowly start to operate this in your own strength and wisdom rather than leaning on God. And this journey for me has always been leaning on God. Everything, whatever it is, whatever post, leaning on God. As simple as it is, I've always found myself going back to, okay, God, should I post this? Okay, if I'm gonna post this, what should I say? And it sounds so like, okay, it's just a post, but it's not, because I'm believing for lives to be changed. And if that's the case, then it needs to be going through God and getting his stamp of approval. So I definitely had to go through the refining of my motives so that my desires were in line with God's desire. My words were in line with what God wanted to be said. And so that was definitely a journey. It was. Because, I'd be like, oh, I want to post this. And he's like, nah. And I'm like, but it's good. Like, or even, okay, here's this, right? So I will never forget. I was like, oh, well, like, Lord, even if it's just for one person, I'll be obedient. Listen here. God was like, okay, just for one person? So I will never forget, I woke up one morning and I had spent time with God, and he was just downloading things into me. And I'm writing, and he's like, he's leading me to post, and I'm posting it. I'm like, word, like, this about to get like mad likes, like, yo, and God, I think I might have like 3 likes on the picture, and I was in my feelings, okay? I was like, but Lord, I know I heard from you about this. We literally went, like, and God was like, but what happened to the one? And I was like, you're right. You right. And so I literally had to live what I was saying when I said, if it's one, it's one. And so I think about how I literally had to be refined. I literally had to be molded and shaped, and my character had to be changed in order to sustain, right? Because I like who I am now may be able to handle where the Masterspiece is now, but God is trying to mold me and shape me for whatever the Masterspiece can be later. And so I can't just think of the now and what I want and completely disregard what God wants. So that was definitely a lesson I had to learn about my motives being pure about this and wanting God to truly be the lead. Another thing I had to learn was support. So when I started this, I was like, yo, I got mad friends. I have family. They got me. And this is can I preface this? Like, this is by no means, I'm not trying to be shady, but I really had to learn that nobody is obligated to support you. It's not, they don't have to. Like, just like you can walk into a store and you have the choice to choose what brand toilet paper you want to use, everybody, no matter how close you are to them, has the choice and the right to choose if they want to support you, and it's a-okay. It is totally fine. So I had to learn love who supports me and love who doesn't, and I had to open my mind to what support looks like. I think going in, I thought support was sharing my stuff, liking my stuff, all that things that I could see with my, my natural eyes, but realizing, and God had to show me, well, you don't know who they're talking to. You don't know if they shared your stuff on the side. Like send a text message to someone. You don't see that, but it doesn't mean that they're not being supportive. And I think about, like, man, the journey even up to launching, like bugging my friends about, oh, is this aesthetically pleasing? Or what do you think about this font? What do you think about that font? What about this color? Sending my blogs out to be edited, like all that is support. And not to say that I didn't think it was. I think I came in with a tunnel vision of what that support was going to look like when I launched. And God had to be like, okay, step back and see the whole picture of what support is like and what it looks like, and cherish that and be appreciative of it. So this is just genuinely, I'm grateful for the people that have supported me, big, small, whatever it is, reading my blog, sharing it, liking my posts, telling people about it that I don't even know. Genuinely, I praise God for that, because I also know, like, I have a specific target market, and so not everybody is going to get what they need from me, and that's totally fine. And so I have to trust that people will support as they feel led to support, me, and that's okay. So that was definitely, and so I think also then you don't learn to lean and depend on people to make you feel good about what God has placed in you. Because I always tell one of my friends, if you're not excited about your stuff, why should anyone else be excited? And so I can't wait for someone else to be excited about my stuff for me to be excited, nor bank on other people's excitement to maintain my excitement. So that was definitely a lesson I had to learn very, very quickly. I also learned what investing in yourself really meant because let me tell you, owning a business costs money, okay? Loads of money. And so it's not that I went in thinking like, oh, this is gonna be like coasting and easy. I think I didn't realize like uh my domain name www.lindsaypurpose.com cost me money. My website cost me money. And it's funny because I started Wix with Wix.com and I did their free feature and I realized like there was only so far my stuff could go before it was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to pay for premium. Yeah, yeah. And so it wasn't a lot, but it was still money that I didn't foresee. Like, oh shoot, like I really like this is gonna cost me money. And then you pay for your domain name every year. So when that renewal comes and it comes out of your account, you're like, yo, where does money come from? And you're like, oh, for me to keep www.lindsaypurpose.com, that costs money. And and I again, it wasn't like I was thinking that it was gonna be cheap. That's not what I was thinking. I just didn't think I mentally prepared for what investing in myself meant. And so I also had to think like, okay, if you don't invest in yourself, why should anyone else? So investing in yourself is definitely key. I learned that networking sucks. I hate it. I really do. I really, really do. I, yeah, there is so much work. Like, something that people don't like to believe about me is I'm quiet, right? So yes, I love to talk, but I'm quiet when I'm not comfortable or I'm in a new environment. And so I go to this networking event and I'm just in there like just watching people like, and finally after some time, warmed up and I remember the person I went with, they were afterwards, they were like, yeah, so, just make sure you send an email thanking them and saying, you really appreciate meeting them and maybe follow up. And I was like, email for what? Like, this is mad. Who got time, right? And so, like they say, you wop wop, you make time for what you want. Yeah, yeah. But I just didn't realize. And so God's still working on me about that. Pray for me, y'all, because it's quite the journey. It's quite the journey when it comes to networking. But I'm learning, and it is a learning process, and I'm excited to continue to grow in that area. So, yeah, but networking is not the business at all, at all. A couple of other things I learned this year was journaling everything, writing ideas, journaling your thoughts, journaling your fears, your concerns, and how every single time, like I promise you, maybe every other week, I wanted to quit and I wanted to be like, yo, I'm done with this, or I let my emotions get the best of me and let my emotions lead me rather than let God lead me. So that was definitely, oh, what a journey. And another thing I had to learn was not to let the future rob me of the present. And so I'm a visionary. I'm like, I love to envision things and I see things. And so sometimes I'm like, man, Lord, you're showing me what this can be, but I get so caught up in what it can be that I lose sight of what it is and get frustrated with what it is, forgetting that if I don't pay attention to what it is now, it won't get to what it can be. And so that has definitely been quite the learning experience for me, because again, I'm a daydreamer, I'm a dreamer, I'm always like thinking ahead, and God always has to like just bring it on in. So yeah, that was definitely good. I have two more lessons that I want to share with you guys, and I will wrap up. This actually took longer than I thought. But one of the things I learned is comparison is a trap. I think one of the things sometimes you can do is you can look at people's chapter 20. You can look at people's success and then compare yourself to like, well, why am I not making that amount of money? Why am I not there? And then you lose sight of like you do know like they've been doing this for like 5-10 years, right, Lynn? So you're only on year one. Relax. And it can rob you of enjoying the process. Like, be always looking at other people. And so one of the things I had to learn was I had to learn to genuinely, not that I wasn't genuine before, but like, okay, I'm going to rejoice with every single person who's winning in my life. Because if they're winning, I'm winning. And it's been beautiful. Like, and I had to not just see it as like, oh, they're successful, I'm not, but I had to use it as encouragement. Like, yo, Lord, like you did that for them. I cannot wait till you do this for me. And so it was good because you can really, and sometimes not even on purpose, right? So it could really just be, man, I want to get there. Why am I not there yet? Um, and so God literally has just been checking me about that. So that's been really good for me, just learning to enjoy the process and be content with my portion and what he gives me now, because he's very strategic and intentional and he knows what he's doing. So I have to trust him. And the last thing, if I could leave with you guys, is stay anchored in your word. Like, I know it sounds so cliche, but going back to the word is what has sustained me this year, right? Because like I told you, I was about ready to quit. Like every other day I get discouraged, and I had to go back to the word of God. And I had to go back to like, okay, the Masterspiece doesn't define me. It is like, it's not about me. It is like, it never was. It never will be. And so I have to constantly remind myself, like, Lord, above all else, your word, your word, your word, your word, your word is what's going to sustain me. Your word is what's going to keep me. Your word is what's going to give me peace of mind. And so, yeah, his word is what's kept me to year one, and I'm excited for how his word's gonna keep me until year whenever. And I'm excited for what he has in store for year two. There's been a lot of things stirring in me, things that he's been placing in me, and I am excited for what he has in store, and I hope you are too. Yeah, so I'm excited for you guys to join me in this journey, and I will continue to be as transparent as he leads me to, because being a business owner is real, okay? The struggle is real, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. I think the woman I've become has just been amazing. I'm so proud of myself. I'm proud of what God has done through the Masterspiece to me. It's affected me more than anything. So I'm excited, and I'm excited, so excited for what he has in store. I love y'all. I will continue to blog on a monthly basis or as God leads me, and continue to be lookout every Wednesday for Affirming Word, and have a wonderful day.